Story 1. I kicked my pregnant girlfriend out of the house. Original post. So, 127. Male had been together with my girlfriend, 26, female, for almost 8 years. Our relationship was kind of rocky since I usually have to go on business trips too. Different countries once in a while. She had admitted she hates it since she's paranoid that I might be cheating on her. She had been cheated on in the past, and I, of course, reassured her many times that I wasn't. It got to the point that I was not drinking while on my trips, trying my best to avoid interaction with other females, and even calling and texting her anytime I was free. She's also pregnant, which I assume made her paranoia even worse. Sometimes, I'd even wake up to her calling me, crying on the phone because I didn't answer her text within a minute. I still, once again, did everything to clear her suspicions about me, which made me kind of depressed, knowing that she didn't trust me enough. Last Tuesday, I came home early from my trip to surprise her, even buying her a big bouquet of flowers and tickets to a movie she's been dying to see for a couple of months. I also bought her a ring, since I've been wanting to pop the question for a while now. When I arrived back home, I saw a car that I wasn't familiar with parked in the driveway. I assumed it was her friend's car since one of them got her license. 9 months ago, as I opened the door to the house, I heard music blasting from our bedroom. I thought this was a bit strange since she doesn't like loud music. As I came upstairs and entered the bedroom, saw something I thought I'd never see in my life. I'm not going to go into details about what I did, but the guy ended up leaving the house after 15 or 20 minutes. My girlfriend and I had a shouting match. She was accusing me of all sorts of things, like how I was never around much, I rarely took her on dates anymore, and that I was probably cheating on her during my business trips, which were total freaking lies. I have always taken her out somewhere. When I came back from work, even when I was tired as hell, her accusing me of cheating was a lie because I always showed her that I wasn't. I even gave her all my social media passwords because I love her. I don't know why, but I just snapped. I packed all her belongings and threw them out into the cold, rainy street where she started screaming at me even more for doing that. My head was hurting from the amount of anger that had built up toward her, and her screaming in my ear didn't help. Now, I don't condone what I did, and of course, I regret it. But I just grabbed her and threw her out into the street where I screamed at her not to come back because the locks would be changed. I slammed the door and called off work for 2 weeks due to a family emergency. All week, I've done nothing but drink myself to sleep because I'm just so heartbroken. Summary of comments before the update: 1. Stop drinking. 2.3 Get an STD test. 4.5 Get a paternity test done. 6.7 Move on and find your purpose. 8.9 Separate finances. 10.11 Talk to a lawyer for any loose ends. 12.13 Inform families. 14.15 Change all of your passwords. 16.17 When the baby is born. Refuse to sign the birth certificate until it's tested and confirmed to be yours. 18.19 See a therapist. You don't want to get stuck in an insecure and codependent relationship. They lead to a lot of turmoil and are incredibly emotionally draining. You should never feel like you have to give out your passwords, constantly text back, or defend yourself when you aren't actually doing anything. You deserve better. Take a look into attachment theory and try to get yourself to a place where you can be securely attached in a relationship that isn't full of suspicion and lack of trust. 20. Commenter response: yes, hell yes to this. I had a previous relationship where my girlfriend was the same. Always suspicious, asking for all my passwords, even reading my chats with other people. It was toxic, and I was miserable. I'm so glad I didn't end up with her. That was years ago. I eventually met my wife. She is now much more mature, not clingy or needy, and we just trust each other. She never once asked for my passwords or tried to read my private chats, and vice versa. Trust goes a long way in a relationship. Edit from original poster. Thank you, everyone, for the comments and for private messaging me. I appreciate it a lot. I'm sorry if I can't reply to most of them, but thank you. I am currently getting therapy and have stopped drinking as of now. I'll be posting an update soon. The update. Hi everyone. Sorry for taking a while to post this update. I've been very busy due to everything. First, I'd like to start by clearing up some things I've noticed when reading some of the comments. First, screw you to anyone who thinks I'm some sort of predator. We were both born in the same year, just different months. I was born in May, and she was born on December 2nd. Second, I'll admit, I shouldn't have thrown her out onto the street. My anger doesn't excuse my behavior. And I'll admit, I should have left to stay in a hotel or at my parents' for the week. For those wondering what happened between me and the guy she was cheating on me with, he refused to leave and tried kicking me out of my own house, which ultimately led to me and the guy having a fight. It only ended when my ex threatened to call the police and demanded the guy leave, which he, of course, ended up doing. Third, to reply to the comments saying that my story doesn't add up about the flowers, tickets, and engagement ring. I had gotten the ring a month before and had left it at home before I went to the airport, as well as buying the available tickets to the movie online. The flowers I had also bought were from a nearby supermarket in the town that I live in. If you have any more questions about this whole situation, I'd be happy to answer them. Now, on to the update. If you didn't see my edit, I'm currently getting therapy because of her cheating on me and my anger, as well as my drinking. I didn't realize how bad it was until that night. And her cheating on me has been a wake-up call on my end. I'd also like to say that my ex has been calling and texting me non-stop, begging for my forgiveness and saying that we can work things out. She's also been trying to gaslight me into letting her back into the house, saying all sorts of things like, you can't just throw your own kid and girlfriend out onto the streets, and this baby is yours, and you need to take full responsibility for it. All that bullshit? No way. I'm actually done. I should have called the whole thing off the minute she started acting crazy. Today, she also tried to break into my house, which I, of course, immediately told the police about. She was detained for a couple of hours until she was let go. I'm not sure why she didn't get arrested. Her parents have also been berating me for kicking her out, and she now has to live with them until she has enough money to buy a place of her own. Once again, I will wholeheartedly admit that I shouldn't have put my hands on her and thrown her out. I know it was wrong of me, and I take full responsibility for my actions. I'm currently looking for a new house in a different town so I can get away from here. This place holds too many bad memories, and I just want to escape it all. Thank you all for the nice comments and DMs I received. I'm sorry I couldn't reply to them. I'm just not in the best mindset to do so, but I appreciate them a lot. I'm sorry if this isn't the update that you guys wanted, but I just wanted to clear some things up before leaving Reddit. Yes, I'll be getting a paternity test the minute that baby is born. And yes, I'm possibly looking into getting a restraining order while I'm at it, just in case she tries to pull another stunt. Once again, I'm sorry if this isn't the update you wanted to hear, but I just wanted to get some things off my chest. And I'm also sorry if this post is long, by the way. Thank you to all the people who have reached out in DMs and gave me advice and kind words. I appreciate you all a lot, and I hope God rewards you in the future. Thank you, and I love you all. If anything happens, I'll be sure to update immediately. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for allowing my niece and nephew to destroy the house after my sister-in-law specifically instructed me not to discipline them? My brother Casey, 32, is much older than me, 17. He's married to my sister-in-law Mandy, 36, and they have 2 kids. My nephew Nick, 3.5, and my niece. Maya too. Mandy recently asked my parents if I could babysit Nick and Maya since Mandy wanted to visit her mom, and the original babysitter canceled at the last minute. I had never babysat Nick and Maya before. I honestly don't have any real experience babysitting kids under 5, but my parents begged, and they offered to pay me, so I agreed. Babysitting Nick and Maya was a nightmare. They acted like they had never been told no or been forced to behave in their entire lives, drawing on the walls with crayons and markers, trying to flush bath toys down the toilet, throwing themselves on the floor and screaming for candy. The list goes on and on. I called Mandy, explaining what Nick and Maya were doing and that I was having them stand in the corner for a timeout. Mandy ended up coming home early, but not to deal with Nick and Maya. Instead, Mandy was angry with me and told me that I wasn't allowed to discipline them because I'm not their mother and need to learn my place. The next weekend, last Friday, Mandy begged me to babysit Nick and Maya because she said she wanted to visit her mom again and couldn't find another babysitter. My parents had me agree, and Mandy told me again that I was not allowed to discipline Nick or Maya. I'm pretty sure this is the real reason why she couldn't get an actual babysitter. For Nick and Maya, since Mandy said I couldn't discipline them, I decided to do as I was told. I watched them to make sure that they didn't try to run away from home or anything. But otherwise, Nick and Maya were left to their own devices. The house was obviously a wreck by the time Mandy got home. Mandy was furious with me and tried convincing my parents not to pay me. My parents still paid me since a deal is a deal, but they said they were disappointed in me because even though Mandy's no discipline rule was silly, I had a dozen better ways of keeping my niece and nephew occupied using an activity like crafts or hide and seek instead of being spiteful and immature and just letting them destroy the house. Casey hasn't said anything about it, but he is kind of an absentee father, to be honest. He spends most of his time at work. When he is home, he kind of just acts like the fun uncle while Mandy does the actual parenting. I'm looking for an unbiased perspective on here. Am I the a-hole? Summary of comments, not the a-hole. Maybe you could have redirected the kids, but maybe you couldn't. And you had absolutely no recourse if that happened, as it was almost certain to do. I'm pretty sure this is the real reason why she couldn't get an actual babysitter for Nick and Maya. You may be 17, but you're a sharp kid. You were very probably right. Do not babysit these kids again. Do not babysit these kids again. Just throwing it out there, since it is family and this whole issue may blow over, etc. I would argue too. Do not babysit these kids again unless you're allowed to actually run the house and you at least get your parents to back you, especially if it's their house you'll be at. Part of watching a house with kids in it as an adult, even a young adult, is the ability to make decisions and do what you feel is appropriate to manage certain situations. Nobody's perfect right away, but you can't be an effective babysitter for these types of kids, especially if you're essentially being treated like a kid while being expected to act like an adult, not the a-hole. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you.